Sock puppet account for obvious reasons. My wife and I are in our mid-30s. We've been together since 2014, married since 2019, no kids. About approximately 4 times per year, my wife has what I can only describe as a rage attack. She has an untreated disorder that causes her emotional regulation issues, and she sees a therapist, though not a psychiatrist. They are very frustrating to me. She is functionally unreachable as she goes through them, and she just gets mad. At me, obviously, but just everything in her life, no matter if it makes sense or not. It's like her amygdala just freaks out at a tiny thing, mild conflicting opinion from me, or not being able to find her phone, etc., and pumps out anger hormones. She returns to a baseline afterward, apologizes earnestly and honestly, and returns to her normal self. Her normal self has big emotions too, but I almost enjoy them. I don't feel emotions as deeply as her, so it's nice to feel along with her, if that makes sense. 3 nights ago, she had one. We had a little disagreement, so I went into the kitchen, and she threw something at the wall and started just yelling asterisk. She wouldn't let me leave the kitchen. Again, there is no reasoning with her when this happens. Words mean nothing. I escaped, told her to go to bed, cleaned up the mess she made, and that was that. The next day she came home from work and started apologizing. And I told her that I wasn't really willing for this to happen again, and she has to take action to prevent this from happening. We kept talking, and a couple of minutes later she said, "I feel really bad, you know," and my response was, "Right now, I don't care how you feel. I'm telling you this can't keep going on." We dropped it and moved on. A couple of hours ago, she brought up that it was hurtful that I told her I didn't care about her feelings, but I think that's a pretty reasonable way to respond when I was on the floor of our condo, cleaning up her rage choices the night before. Am I the idiot? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Welcome to /r/am the asshole. Please view our voting guide here. Cool. Reddit. com/r/am-asshole/wiki/FAQ #wiki_what 2019 s_with_these_acronyms 3f_what_do_they_mean 3f, and remember to use asterisk only one asterisk judgment in your comment. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. NGT. She's my wife. I'm supposed to care about her feelings. And she really does feel bad. I know this woman, and I know how she ticks. But I am also entitled to my feelings, right? Comment 2. Info. So is there a chemical way to treat this she isn't taking? If she went to a psychiatrist, would they be able to prescribe something that would help? Is she trying to just power through with good thoughts? Edit. Not the idiot. So she's afraid of how meds will change her. So she's okay with wild rages as long as she feels like herself. She needs to put whatever effort she has to in order to get a psychiatrist and get on something. Once on meds doesn't mean forever. It means working with your doctor to find something right for you. There are things she can try and isn't doing. That is not okay. Comment 3. Not the idiot. There is only so much any person can take. You are right. This cannot continue, no matter how she feels in the light of day. You are not her emotional punching bag. You have your own feelings, and one of them is that her contrition is not enough. She should feel bad. More importantly, she owes it to everyone in her life to stop these episodes. If she can't, do what you must to protect your own sanity. I'm sorry you are struggling with something so volatile. I hope it gets better soon. Now, for the next story. I, 27 years old, have been with my significant other, 28 years old, for nearly 5 years now, and we have just had a baby. He also has a daughter from a previous relationship. We recently bought a house around the corner from my in-laws, and everything has been fine up until a week ago. This is when my significant other had an argument with my mother-in-law about several things. He thinks it's unfair how his sister is always treated better, even though she has caused a lot of problems for their family. He's also upset that his mom is very involved with his ex, despite their high conflict situation. He has asked her not to do this, among other things. This issue has been brewing for years, but everything came to a head the other day when my mother-in-law told my significant other that she no longer sees him as a son, and he is not welcome at their house. My sister-in-law asked me to bring my daughter to their house as they live together. After talking to my significant other, he said no. He explained that if he isn't welcome at their house, then his daughter shouldn't go there either. Today, my sister-in-law messaged me and started to say that I should bring the baby around and that my significant other was horrible to his mom. She believes that my mother-in-law deserves to see her granddaughter. I explained that my significant other is my partner and the baby's father. If he doesn't want me to take her there, then I won't. I don't want to be in the middle of this. It's their problem to resolve, and I shouldn't get involved. If my mother-in-law wants to see the baby, she can come to my house. However, I won't go against my significant other's wishes and take her to their house. My sister-in-law basically got mad at me, saying that I should be able to tell him what's right or wrong and go against him for them. In their eyes, they believe my significant other is a terrible person and should be blamed for everything. I explained to her that it's not my place to be involved or in the middle. It's a difficult situation for me, as no matter what I do, someone will be upset with me. I wasn't even present when they argued, so I shouldn't be held responsible. She just said whatever and never replied again, which made me feel bad. So, am I the idiot? Aita. Now, for the next story. My mom died in 2022 after I had been her caregiver for 6 years. She had seizures after a brain surgery and was diagnosed with cancer, all while being in a wheelchair. In 2020, both of my siblings abandoned her over the will. She wanted me to have her house in consideration of the fact that I gave up everything to move home and ensure she never had to go to a facility. We ended up having to sell the house to pay for care while I was working full-time. I needed health care, and my income bridged the gap between her Social Security and what we liquidated from some investments she had to take care of her. When she passed, I called my sister to let her know, and she said, "I am sorry for your loss," and went into a monologue about what a terrible parent Mom was. Just hours after the funeral, home took her body. Mom died right next to me. It turns out that all of the money left from Mom's estate belongs to me legally. I am paying all of Mom's final expenses because my siblings communicated to me through the lawyer they wanted no part of it. I am also making sure my niece gets all of the money Mom wanted her to have because she is the only immediate family member to come see Mom from the middle of 2020 through the end of 2022 when she passed. Am I the idiot for not writing checks to my siblings when I am not legally required to? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your mother was very clear who she wanted her estate to go to. You and your niece. Your sisters did not put their lives on hold to care for your mom. You did. Your sister even spoke badly about your mother within hours of her death. Honor your mother's wishes. Give your niece the money your mom wanted her to have, pay the remaining bills, and take the remaining funds, which I guess will not be substantial based on your post. You did everything you could and more for your mother during the last years of her life. Time to start living your life now. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Your sister sounds like a right piece of work. I called my sister to let her know, and she said, "I'm sorry for your loss," and went into a monologue about what a terrible parent Mom was. Just hours after the funeral, home took her body. Your mom's will left you the estate. End of Not the Idiot. Comment 3. Not the idiot, and I am truly sorry for your loss. A word of caution. Be careful of how your niece's inheritance is set up. Your sibling may try to gain control of it before your niece comes of age. Now, for the next story. Me, 34-year-old female, have been married to my 37-year-old husband for 11 years today. I honestly wasn't expecting anything. Ever since having kids, we don't go all out on anniversaries, birthdays, or Christmas. Life is hectic for us, and usually neither one of us gets a chance to go shopping for each other. So once again, I don't expect anything. A few weeks ago, I mentioned to him how I wanted to update my ring and even sent him a link to a website that sold inexpensive rings that were similar to what I was thinking about. He asked if that's what I wanted, and I said, yeah, I'm good with that. Fast forward to a few days ago, we go back to school shopping for our boys. I try on Birkenstocks and am amazed at how comfortable they actually are. He says to buy them, and I say, I'm unsure. Side note, I am a very indecisive buyer. I need to think about my purchases and pick out the perfect item if I'm going to spend that much, so I leave them and exclaim that I'll do some research and figure out which kind I want. I'm excited at the thought of trying on different ones. Fast forward to today, I make breakfast for everyone a little more fancy than normal. I have to work for a couple of hours. My husband uses this opportunity to go back to the mall to buy the Birkenstocks I tried on as an anniversary gift. Long story short, I want to take them back because I didn't decide these are the ones I wanted. Now he's mad, and I'm not grateful. I just feel some kind of way about the low-effort gift and getting mad because that's not what I wanted. I do feel like a brat, though. I mean, he did do something nice, right? Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Definitely not the idiot. I'm trying to figure out if y'all read the same thing I did. It's their 11-year anniversary. OP already mentioned that they rarely get the chance to spoil each other, and when she shops, she is indecisive and needs to take time to actually think about what she wants. She told her husband that she wants an upgraded ring, and even gave him links of what she actually wants. Yes, it was sweet of him to remember that she likes the comfort of the shoes, but she wasn't sure about the style, which suggests he wasn't actually listening to her. He completely disregarded her actual wants, and instead tried to pacify her with a gift that she never asked for. The gift was sweet, but low effort, especially for an 11-year anniversary gift. OP. I'm sorry that you're getting flagged as TA, but that's because most people on this thread choose to accept the bare minimum and accept whatever is thrown their way. If your husband truly wanted to treat you for your anniversary, he'd get the gift you actually wanted. His gift just seems like he bought it just to say that he gave you a gift. I know that gift giving is about the thought that counts, but it seems like he was only thinking of himself. Comment 2. You're the idiot for being weirdly upset about this. You can simply say you're going to exchange them for a different pair if you think that's necessary. If you were obviously ungrateful about the gift, then of course he's mad. Your husband saw something you definitely liked and went back to buy it. That's not low effort, it's being observant. Comment 3. Not the idiot. You clearly said you wanted to do some research and figure out which shoes you wanted, and he completely ignored you. It's the not listening to what you actually said that would have disappointed me too, and it's not a terrible gift, but it's totally reasonable to exchange them, even if you hadn't already said you weren't sure. Now, for the next story. My 42-year-old friend, Pam, who I'm going to call Pam here, has been engaged since this spring, planning on a Christmas wedding. Until recently, I only met the guy, let's call him Pete, fairly briefly at a couple of social events and didn't know him that well. Last month, Pam invited me and a couple other friends, Paul and Paulina, out drinking to get to know Pete. There was no discussion of off-limits topics beforehand, no mention that anything at all was being kept secret from Pete. Now, Pam does have a history of being a somewhat private and secretive person, with a very compartmentalized life. So this night out with her fiancé did come as a surprise to us. Still, there was no briefing on things not to mention. We were drinking, we were laughing, we were having a great time. Also, did I mention we were drinking? At one point, Pam gets up to go to the bar, and I say to Pete, "You're so much chiller and funner than Dave." He just looks confused and says, "Dave?" And without thinking why he would ask, my drunk ass goes, "Her last husband, the dud." It never occurred to me he wouldn't already know, to which he replies, "She was married? What do you mean, her last husband?" The speakers in the bar were blaring, but you could feel a bubble of silence forming around us. Time slowed down, and then Paulina, ever so helpful, blurts out, "He didn't matter. They were only married a few months. Her first one lasted 8 years. Pete looks at me and asks, "Is that true?" I say yes. He gets up, drops some cash on the table, and leaves. Pam comes back and asks what's going on, and all I can think to say was, Apparently Pete didn't know about Dave or Michael. Her face goes paper white, and she follows Pete outside. That was 3 weeks ago today, and the last I saw of her. She's not answering my calls or texts, and she's also cut off Paul and Paulina, even though Paul was pretty much drunk under the table. Pam doesn't do social media, but the three of us have learned from other friends that invitations have gone out, so they've patched up any disagreement that might have occurred from the revelation. Paulina thinks that in hindsight, we should have known that's asterisk. Exactly asterisk the sort of thing Pam would hide from a fiancé. That does have a ring of truth to it, knowing Pam. She's always been very judicious about what she reveals about herself and when and to whom she reveals it. Perhaps I should have considered everything I know about her to be a secret. At the same time, I really don't feel like I did anything wrong, and that she should have mentioned it if she hadn't told him yet. Ex-spouses are something you mention before the engagement, not after the honeymoon. She definitely should not have had a group of people who know a secret heavily drinking around the person she's keeping the secret from. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Not only is Pam an AH to her fiancé, but she's dumb. How she thought this would stay quiet without giving anyone a heads up is a head-scratcher. You are not supposed to have to intuit that your friend liking privacy means that she is a liar. There's a big difference. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Her compartmentalization isn't a personality quirk. It's because she is a liar. She controls the information flow so nobody knows enough to call her bullshit. You aren't cut off because you committed a grievous faux pas. It's because you know too much. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It would have been outed nearer the time as she would have had to provide her divorce papers when doing the legal side of things. Kinda a big thing to have not told him before they started planning a life together. Don't sweat it, OP. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.